Yay!
Yeah, here we go. Hi, Julian. I love you so much. Oh, man, I'm so glad you're here. And some of you know that I do a happy dance every time I get a new patron.
That's so
And
cute.
I want to start the show with this happy dance. So I'm going to stand up. I invite you to do it along with me. You ready? Okay, first, it goes up and up, and you look up, and you pump your fist overhead, and you look to the right, and you look to the left, and then you go down and down. You get your hip into it, one hip, yeah, hip into it, and then you turn your fist and you go back up, and you go from side to side, and you look from side to side, and you look from side to side, and then you go all the way up, and take a bow. Thank you so much for joining me. Good to have you dance. That is the way that I, as a person of anxious stock, prepare my nervous system for joy and celebration and appreciation, because I realized that any success I was having in any amount wasn't affecting me. Okay, what's the next thing? And that meant I wasn't really feeling much joy either. So I developed this little silly dance. So I would start to feel it in my cells and shake them up. And I do feel different, you know? I do it long enough that, and I will do it on the subway even, if I find out I get a patron on the subway. I do it for long enough that I start to feel it in my nervous system, that I start to get like tingles. And long enough that I'm like, I'm no longer self-conscious about it. You know, I'm just like, yep, I'm happy we're here.
Awesome.
So perhaps some of you don't know me yet. So my name is Lila, and here is a brief introduction of me. I'm a student of human connection for a long, long time. As a daughter of a child psychologist and a social worker, it has been in my field since I was born. I'm the host of the podcast Horizontal with Lila, which is conversations about intimacy, recorded while lying down, wearing robes. The robes are very important. Don't forget that. It makes private conversations public. My aims are to dispel shame, diminish shame, to combat loneliness, which is hopefully what we're doing here, and to alchemize human connection, because I think that when humans come together, we can spin straw into gold. We can create something that was heretofore unimagined and not in existence. My premise is that when we relegate intimacy only to the realms of the sexual and the romantic, then we all suffer, then we're all hungry and we're all starving. I want to expand our notions of intimacy. This can be intimate, and I hope very much that it will be. And then the last thing I wanted to say was I have a patron who said, you know, Lila, when people hear your podcast, they want to talk to you. And not everybody will be able to talk to you. So how are you going to turn people towards each other? So this is one of the ways that I turn people towards each other. I do these workshops, these connection workshops that get people dropping the walls, connecting deeply and quickly and beautifully. And those turn into friendships, and they turn into connections that last. So this is an experiment. This is my first time doing a workshop like that where people can't touch each other. So it's all new, and we're trying it. And this is the time to try translating my connection skills digitally. A little bit about this platform. Get Vocal is a platform for podcasters to be seen as well as heard. Sunny Megatron over there also has her own show. It will start in 1 hour, and I think you should probably hop onto hers afterwards. She's a lovely, delicious host. You can participate by chatting. So on the left-hand side of your screen, if you're using a desktop, is a chat, essentially a chat role or a chat room. So at any point, you
Ooh.
order to be able to see it.
Ooh.
While all the video spots are taken. It says, grab this spot. When you want to cam down, that's what we're calling it, camming up and camming down. When you want the X in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. So if I ask you to cam up or to cam down, that's what it means. Lauren says she's unsure if it's me, but my connection isn't the best.
I think it might be you, Lila, actually, with the bit of a weak connection.
Okay. I am not sure what to do about that. I'm at home.
If you're able to move maybe closer to your internet source, your router might help, or...
I don't know where that might be, but I can try going on to the other side that's closer to the office.
Yes.
Everyone else is coming through nice and clear except for me. What's sad news? All right. Is this?
Let's give it just a second to catch up with you here. Looks like it's getting better to me.
Wow. What a bummer.
Oh yeah, that's much better. I can already tell.
This is better?
Yeah. It's coming through a lot stronger now. Okay.
Okay. Here we go.
And I gotta run.
I'll just get
somebody else came up, so I gotta run. Mwah.
See you, honey, in an hour.
Thank you so much for popping in. Okay, somebody else please cam up. Well, maybe this is the time to get horizontal. Yeah?
Yeah.
Julene, grab this spot. See the spot that's open? Click on it. Okay, now I'm here for real.
Yay. Oh yeah.
So did we get the information about the platform? So if you see an empty open video, you can grab that spot, just click right on that.
Or tap.
Be able to. Well, can you hear me?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, great. And then, yeah, this is an experiment, right? So the kid, it's it's all an experiment. And
early days.
Usually I would say at the beginning of a workshop, I would have everybody to agree to confidentiality, but that's not possible here. This is on the internet. So and make sure that what you say is okay to be on the internet for you so that you feel comfortable, because it will live on, as opposed to when we're in a room together and I ask us to raise our hands to make sure that everything is confidential and non-identifiable, with I statements whenever you share about it. This is visible. Included when it is saved. So anything you want to share that you don't want to be on the broad, share in the chat. If you have any issues, ask Liz in the chat for support. And if we can have a conversation of 100 people speaks at a time. I'm going to work on. Please subscribe, because I'm going to do more of these and you're going to love it. And there's a new feature where if you find this valuable, any of these get vocal shows. And I don't know how it goes. So Liz is going to tell us how it goes.
Yes, so we have a new feature, and it is called donation or tipping. And you see a little blue button on your chat that's a little blue diamond with a V in it. That is the V coin symbol, and you can click that or tap it if you're on mobile, and you'll have a little window pop up and you'll be able to add a tip. So Lila earns all of those tips that you donate. So it's kind of like an extra way to support creators that you love and who are doing awesome things. If maybe you can't afford to do a monthly donation, you can just do a quick Vcoin tip if you hear something that's just like, oh, heck yes, she said that, and you feel like you need to put some money on that comment, you can send a little love that way too. You can buy Vcoin by clicking the blue icon next to your profile picture if you are on the web. Currently on mobile, you cannot buy Vcoin, but you can spend it. So you can buy it on web and then spend it on your phone, but you can't buy it on your phone. So that is everything you need to know about Vcoin and how to get it and how to give it, and send Lila some Vcoin because she's awesome and we love her show.
So I'm trying to go closer to the Wi-Fi router in the to hear me all right.
Yes, the connection.
Yeah.
Always. Oh, and here we have a little example here in the chat of our lovely Lokesh, who has donated 10 Vcoin to Lila. So her first donation.
Hey.
Yay. Thank you, Lokesh.
Oh, we might have gone the opposite direction.
Yes, lost her.
A good Wi-Fi connection is important for digital connection.
Cameron does have a point there.
So true.
Yes, Wi-Fi is
Yep.
probably the most important part of. Hello.
Hi.
Landline, hardline is my vote.
Oh, yes.
Hi.
Everybody's trying to use the internet at once now. The entire world's so bored.
I know.
I know.
Ironically, I'm actually at a job site installing live streaming gear right now.
Oh, of all things. That's awesome.
For a church.
Oh. I'm going to go ahead and leave this spot and make sure Lila is okay, and I will be in the chat if you need help.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was interesting. So I'm on my phone and I tried to grab the spot because, I can see 4 pictures. The lower right-hand corner was available and I could not grab it. But now that Lila's spot's available, I guess I grabbed that one.
So you're the host
I
now.
guess so. I'm going to talk about really profound things, and it's going to blow your mind, and you're not going to be disappointed at all.
So how do you know Lila?
I know Lila from Portland. We were both tango dancers together in the same community, and I met her and I immediately liked her. And I thought she was fantastic. And there was one evening where we were both dancing tango and the evening was winding down and she was dating this guy who really did not pay attention to her needs. And I could just see like the energy draining out of her. And it's like it was watching this beautiful light and this flower kind of wilt. And I was like, oh. And I looked at her and I'm just like, I like you so much. And she's just like, oh my God. And so ever since then, that's our little thing. And how about you? How do you know Lila?
We were roommates for a time. And for the first, I want to say like couple weeks of me living in Brooklyn, we didn't speak a whole lot. And I was kind of trying to get to know my roommates a little bit better on a individual basis. And so I offered to pick up a CSA for Lila. And I'll see if I can give the short version of this story because there is a longer version as well. But the short version is I lost all her food.
Oh no.
In the process of doing
that.
And so this was like meeting Lila in this process. God. And she had this gorgeous CSA setup that was all like really unique food. Okay.
I love you, John. I love you so much. Yes, Cameron, I realize that a good Wi-Fi connection is important for digital connection. Thank you for that information. All right. So usually we would be sitting in a circle, and we are kind of sitting in a circle just on a much larger scale around the planet, across the country and across the world. So imagine that we are sitting in a circle. For me, it's really important to have ritual in my life, but I kind of abhor religion in many ways. So creating rituals, borrowing rituals, and making them work for me is really important. So one of those rituals is the lighting of candles. And the Unitarian Universalists will light a candle in front of everyone and share joys and concerns. And so that is what I am hoping for us to start off with. And when I do it in a circle ceremony, I usually call it grievances and celebrations. So let's start by sharing our name and what we're grieving, what we're celebrating. And when you have finished, you can cam down, click the little X in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, and somebody else can join and share a grievance and a celebration. My name is Lila, and I am grieving the fact that my internet connection is not strong. Really, I love the fact that I'm hosting this show and then I'm gone. This is terrible to me. I'm grieving that right at this very, very moment. And I am celebrating the fact that I am learning to play the guitar, and I just bought my very first guitar.
That's
Beautiful. I am really excited and proud of myself for embarking on something that I thought I couldn't do and doing it. I know how to play a song. I know how to play Heart of Gold. Isn't she pretty? I know. Thank you. All right. And then at the end of your sharing of your joy and your concern, you can say, and with that, I'm in. So we step into this space together. We step into this virtual workshop space together. John, will you go next?
Absolutely. I am grieving the loss of my daily routine. Having a job that takes me into Midtown New York City this entire week has fully altered my grasp of sanitation and wellness practices, and that has never been the thing that dictates my day-to-day, but it now is. No public transit, all the things, New York City. And I am celebrating that at the end of this week, we will be bringing a worship center that has never had a live stream ever in their history fully online and doing their sermons completely remotely. There's no more, no one's coming to the worship hall at all, and they're going to be completely online. And we had a week to do it, so here we are. And with that, I'm in.
Thank you, John.
It's great.
Hi, is it my turn?
Yeah.
Wonderful. My name's Lauren, and I am grieving the fact that I upset my best friend because I told her that I couldn't continue planning her bridal shower because of the state of the world right now, and she was not very happy about that. So that's very saddening that I may have harmed that relationship. But I have faith and trust that it'll work out. But I'm celebrating the fact that the 12-step fellowships that I'm a part of has risen to the occasion and have completely digitalized and has done magnitudes more than I thought possible in this time of social isolation. And with that, I am in.
Yay. Hi, I'm Julene, and I am grieving the loss of a friendship, and that has been really hard and sad for me for a few months. But I think it's for the best. And let's see. One of my joys is I'm still working and I'm still making money. And one of the ways I'm supporting my friends is I'm signing up with all their services, gift cards to all my massage therapists who give massages, friends who design clothes. I'm buying their clothes. And so I'm supporting as many small businesses as possible because I'm still working. And with that, I'm in.
Thank you, Julie. Love you. Hello, Craig. Hello, Brad.
Hello, Lila. I'm Craig. Hello. I'm grieving massive societal disruption and planetary peril. And I'm celebrating the revolution that's coming to replace it all. With that, I'm in.
Welcome, Craig.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brad, coming to you live from Brooklyn, like many of you are. I am very severely grieving, and Margarita will understand this, the loss of my movement practice. It's crazy how disrupting this has been as a dancer, right? There are no classes, there's nothing, and I'm in my little apartment struggling to keep moving. So that's been a lot more disrupting than I thought it would be. Celebrating a few things. One, that I'm moving next weekend to a much larger apartment, so that'll be good. I am celebrating the job that I started 2 weeks ago with some of the most awesome, supportive, loving humans at a fully remote company. So work has been just like par for the course, except everyone else is home now, and it's a little weird. So yeah, with those things, I am so in.
Yes. I wanted to share some nonverbal responses that we can do. We can do this for celebration. We can do this for me too. We can do this for, oh man, I feel you. And we can do this when somebody has completed. Margarita?
Hi. I I had to grab that spot after Brad and Craig because it's amazing that we're all here together. Thank you, Lila.
I'm so glad.
I am grieving several things. One of them being far from my family, who's in Italy, and possibly even more so, like Brad said. And it sounds a little selfish after that, but I'm grieving all of our shows being canceled, and having rehearsed 3 or 4 times a week since September, to see it all go up in flames. And as a dancer and a performer, training is really important, and it's part of our self-care, but also being able to offer what we do is pretty crucial. And I have to admit, it was fucking devastating. I am celebrating having a chosen family that I can share this weird times with, and a space that we spent hours sanitizing today so that we can still use it to move and be in our bodies. So as long as we can move around the city a little bit. So with that, I guess I'm in.
Thanks, Margay. Ralo?
Hello.
Hi, darling.
Miss you.
I miss you too. So good to see your face.
Yeah, likewise. I'm grieving a lot of things as well. Just like Margarita, my parents are in France, and my dad is like over 60 and used to be a huge smoker. So, just interrogations about whether to stay here or go back home. I'm grieving the loss, not the loss, but the temporary full stop of a current project. Like I was starting stuff on my own and everything stops. And I'm grieving the loss of a place, because a place that was very important to me recently and that I left with a lot of tension, which sucks a little. And I am celebrating community. There's been a lot of people around offering help or supports, and even though you're like in the middle of everything falling apart and it's still hard, you barely notice it in a way, but then you look back and you're just like, oh, like there were people all the way. Thank you. Yeah, and with that, I'm in.
Welcome in, Ralo. so sweet to see your eyes. Cameron. Cameron, I can't hear you. Oh, there we go.
Oh.
Yeah, you were muted for a second.
Oh, okay. Well, hello. My name is Cameron. I am grieving, I guess, the loss of social interaction and community that I was a part of before all this madness happened. And I guess I'm celebrating the fact, I guess the most recent event that I helped organize that happened the final weekend before, I guess, all of the social distancing happened. So we were able to have a successful event. Yeah, it was the last like community thing that I was able to organize for a while, actually. So yeah, I was really fortunate that we were able to do that. So that's what I'm celebrating. And with that, I'm in.
Welcome in. Nice to see your face. You've been in, but I haven't seen you, right? Nice to see you.
It's usually pretty loud where I'm at. So
yeah.
This was the one time where it wasn't. So I was like, oh, I should jump in.
Mixed blessings, but I'm glad you're here.
Yep. Hello, you got a... Sounds like you got a little internet hiccup. Hi, I'm Alexi. I am Native American, ho-hum, and right now I'm burning sweetgrass, sage, and tapanuco, which is an herb from Puerto Rico, which is sacred. I am grieving. Well, I work in theater, so all the artists and all the freelancers, they are being hit hard, and I see so many people asking for work on, do they know if there's any freelance sound work or video editing, and everybody's going to be dying as a freelancer in New York City. Theater, where I work, it's like there's nothing going on, and it's all artists, and it's all people that work from the heart. And as we had the two dancers, Brad and Margarita, part of what we do is expressing ourselves and sharing it, and we have no outlet right now. And without art, there is no life. What I'm celebrating is I'm starting to reconnect with people that I haven't heard from in a long time. I'm actually connecting with some people that I haven't talked to in a long time, just saying, how are you doing? How's everything going? So that's pretty much what I'm these old connections that I'm rekindling, and that's what I'm helpful for. And with that, all my prayers, and I'm all in.
Welcome in, Alexi. Thank you. Toku, hello.
Hello. I'm coming to you from St. Petersburg, Florida. I'm a former New York resident, but I escaped. So
wow.
A while ago.
High school.
Oh, cool. Crazy. Small world. I'm grieving. I ended a 3.5-year relationship that was an engagement about a month and a half ago. So I've been sitting in that grief for about a month now, and learning a lot through that process. And I'm really celebrating what's available to people now. I think when we see how easily things can fall apart, we can become more grateful for what we do have. So I really see people waking up right now to what life is all about, and I'm really grateful for that. I wish it was a different way of waking up, but sometimes we get the medicine that we don't want. And with that, I'm in.
Welcome in. Would anybody else like to grab a spot and share a grievance and a celebration? 3 spots open. Okay, there we go. Aww.
Hey, Lila. Hi, everybody. My name is Paul. Let's see. I'm definitely grieving personal contact. Like, I miss getting hugs. I'm getting a little bit tongue-tied here. Let's see. But as far as celebration goes, I'm actually really looking forward to some free time so I can actually, do some self-care. I actually have a a bad hip and back injury that I've been working on healing. So I've been doing a lot of stretching, a lot of meditating, and I'm really looking forward to having some time to work on that. And with that, I am in.
Welcome in, Paul.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay. So then we'll move on to a game. So I invite 2 more people to cam up. This is fun. You want to do it. So cam up, people. There we go. I got a Brad, 1 more, and a Lauren. Excellent. So this is called Deep Thoughts. And we're going to create deep thoughts together, but we can each only say 1 word. We'll know when the deep thought has been created. And when the deep thought has been created, we'll all go, mmm. And we'll stroke our beards and say, mmm. And then 1 person will cam down. So, Lauren, in your view, are you in the bottom right-hand corner?
Yes.
So the person in the bottom right-hand corner will cam down, somebody else will cam up, and hopefully we'll be able to rotate through like that so that you do 3 rounds and then you cam down. And we're just going to try it because I haven't done it before. It's never been done before. And we'll see how it goes, hey? All right. And we'll go in a clockwise direction because that's easy for us. Yeah? When
we
Can't.
Fool.
did you say fool?
Yes.
When we can't fool ourselves, comma,
mother
And
Father.
must
guide.
mm.
so what?
So I'm camming down now, correct?
Yeah.
And who starts the next round?
And then let's have it be Paul. Paul, start the next round. Somebody else grab this spot. This is going to work. This is going to be great.
Today.
I
Journeyed
From
Ecstasy.
into
nostalgia
and
Serendipity.
mm. Okay, so then I'm just gonna have to do it by people, right? So if you've been so Paul or
So-
Brad, just one of you, I guess, will cam down and somebody else will cam up.
I'll go.
It's not working the way I thought it would. It's gonna work though. And then Brad, you'll start the next one.
Sometimes
I
lag if you're Lila.
sometimes
What?
Your turn.
No.
intuitively
Whether
Sometimes I know.
Or
Not.
I
should
be
doing
anything
else.
Mm. Margarita says she knows how it goes. You rotate the starter, and the person that
Great.
starts
So that's me
hands
now.
down.
Now that we're rolling,
Okay.
it makes sense.
Excellent.
Underneath.
Toku, you're next.
I didn't hear him. What did he say?
Underneath.
The.
Underneath what? Underneath
The.
underneath the covers.
You.
Celebrate.
Becoming.
More.
Yourself.
Okay. I see how it goes. Okay.
So.
Okay.
Are we
Toku
waiting for
starts.
another person, or we're just gonna go?
Come on, cam up somebody. There we go. We got Craig.
Believing.
In.
Beyond.
Forces.
Gods.
Are.
Ooh.
Always.
Magnificent. Thanks, Toku.
Transformation.
Do.
Occur.
Shall.
When.
We.
Surrender.
Snaps to that.
Is it you, Lila, or me?
I'll start.
Music, did you say?
Music.
Is.
Music.
A.
Margaret. A.
Is a.
Lauren.
She's thinking.
Music is a. Oh, she's thinking. I was thinking it was a connection problem.
Escape.
Let's do one more deep thought. Margay, you want to start? Somebody else came up.
Words.
What was that?
Words.
Words.
Word.
Words.
Word.
Only.
Optional.
When.
No, I'm thinking that. Words are only optional. That was excellent. That was the best one yet. Let's move into a different game. This one is is my favorite. And so then you'll share and then cam down. And the lovely response to someone's share is some snaps. This is called If You Really Knew Me. And I play it at every single connection workshop because I love it oh so much. So, if you really knew me, you would know that I'm half Brazilian. I learned Portuguese fluently much later in life, so I have a bit of an accent, which makes me kind of sad. But I just made a Brazilian friend, like a real friend here that I can talk to in Portuguese. Lauren?
If you really knew me, you'd know that I'm really not great at singing, but I love singing all the time.
Margay?
If you really knew me, you would know that it took me moving across the world to figure out or to start to figure out what I wanted to do in my life.
Oh, okay. I guess if you really knew me, you would know that I tend to be very risk averse. Yeah, I'll go with that one.
The great thing about this is like I want to ask all these questions. And you can in a different version of it, but I'd love to hear and if you really knew me from everybody who's in the room right now who wants to share.
If you really knew me, you'd understand that I both care and don't care at the same time. Which is a very cryptic statement, but
There's this game that's a question game called Vertelis. And Vertelis means tell me more. And so usually I would combine this with a kind of Vertelis, but I also want to play another game and I want to hear from everybody. So I guess I'll hold my Vertelis close to my vest.
If you really knew me, you would know that my judgment and need to be right comes from wanting to keep people a little away, because when I let them in, they really get in.
If you really knew me, you would be able to see through my social feints that keep me from sharing what I'm really thinking.
If you really knew me, you'd know I'm buried under a cat, Margarita.
Like you say, that if you really knew him, you would know that he's only this cute half an hour a day. That's it. The rest of the time, he's a pain in the ass.
I only saw his butt on the camera because I'm on mobile, so.
I know.
That's all you need.
That's mostly what I do. Yeah, he is. He did. He likes to talk about himself a lot. Craig.
Okay. If you really knew me, while you might imagine that I'd be really good at coming up with pithy things at moments like this, you'd realize I'm not.
Hey, Lila.
Hi. If you can't hear me, just keep playing.
So I can hear you, Lila. Adrian is frozen. Oh
You
no.
can't hear me, just keep playing.
Yep. You're coming through clear, Lila, right now.
Okay, great. If you really knew me, you would know that I want to get things right so badly. And that perfectionism has had me with an incredibly brutal inner critic. John?
If you really knew me, you'd know that I feel just as comfortable online as I do in person.
I know you. I really know you. Lauren?
I was going to ask if we're doing round two. If you really knew me, you would know that I am so independent to an almost detrimental degree because I detest asking for help.
If you really knew me, you'd know that autonomy is, I think, what I value more than anything else for myself and for others.
Me too. Cam up. Yeah. Oh, hello. Trey? Oh, goodbye. Oh, no.
Everyone's going to be upgrading their Wi-Fi tomorrow.
If you really knew me. Margaret?
If you really knew me, you'd that I stick to things and people. I don't let a lot of things and people in, but when I let them in, I stick.
I know you. If you really knew me, you would know that my primary love language is love languages are physical touch and quality time. And I'm afraid that I'm going to feel a lot less love in this new world because people are afraid to hug each other and to be close.
If you really knew me, you would know that I am extremely optimistic, and I think that the world is going to completely recover, and everything is going to be fine, and everybody's going to love each other and be connected even more than they ever were.
right? If you can't cam up or your connection's not working so well, or you just want to share it, but you don't want to share it on video, pop in the comments. Let's do one final round. John?
If you really knew me, you would know that if I care for you, that involves me searching my toolkit for something that you can use.
If you really knew me, you would know that I always am looking, trying to find, searching for more connection in, I guess, whatever form you want to define it as. I'm looking for it.
Me too.
If you really knew me, you would know that I'm really bad at fixing things the right way, but I'm really good at fixing things the wrong way.
But they still get fixed.
That's the important thing.
Important part. Amazing. So good. All right. So unless anybody else wants to do an If You Really Knew Me, we'll move on to another game. This game, excuse me, hem. This game is called The Hot Seat. Imagine that we were all in a room together in a studio, and I put one seat up at the front, and then everybody else formed an audience and sat looking at this one person in the hot seat. While in the hot seat, you can be asked absolutely anything. You are, of course, under no obligation to answer. You can choose what you answer, and you can choose how you answer it. But unless you answer it, honestly, it's just not that much fun. So answer to the truthfulest truth that you can, or opt out of the question. And the beautiful response to any answer is thank you. If you have a follow-up question, you can ask it, but first you say thank you. Yeah? Questions can come from anybody on video. Questions can come from the chat on the left-hand side. And so for those of you who are like, this is terrifying, this is so scary, I don't know, maybe you want to play. We can do an example with me. Like, I'll go first. So you can ask anything and we'll answer. I'll probably answer pretty much anything. There's not a lot of things that I wouldn't answer. There was one time I played this game and there was something I wouldn't answer. Somebody asked me to play Fuck, Marry, Kill. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. So that's the one time I refused to answer something in this game. So I'm in the hot seat. Ask me anything you like.
If the world asked you to quarantine for a year, could you find happiness where you are?
Quarantine for a whole year. In just like in an apartment, can't leave.
Where you're at right now, or where your surroundings have led you.
And nobody can come visit.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to make too many rules to rabbit hole this.
If nobody could come visit, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that I have that kind of fortitude without any human contact. That sounds like like Nelson Mandela level solitary confinement internal strength, and I'm not sure I have that.
Thank you.
Would you rather chop your hair or never shave your legs again?
Oh,
That's a hard one. How short, Lauren? How short is chop? Like shave? Between shoulder and chin, I would chop my hair. Yeah. If she said shaved bald, I would be like, oh, this is hard. This is hard. I don't know. So one more question, we'll put somebody else in the hot seat.
Given the game you mentioned before, who would you kill, fuck, and marry?
Damn it!
Oh no.
Still not gonna do it, Vincent. Still not gonna do it.
I didn't know if it was circumstantial.
No, I just think it's so odious.
Yeah. What? When's the last time you felt delight?
Yesterday, when I bought my guitar and held it in my arms and thought I'm gonna get good at this. I'm gonna get good at this thing that I never thought I could do. And I was like, yes, girl.
Nice. Thank you.
Thank you. Who would like to go in? Oh, my guitar doesn't have a name yet. Who would like to be in the hot seat? Or who would not like to be in the hot seat, but is going to do it anyway? Somebody's got to play.
I'm so in for this.
What? Yes. Excellent.
I'll answer anything.
Brad, do you need an audience to feel like your talent is really being shared in the world?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
How do you define audience?
People witnessing you.
From an artistic standpoint, no. As a dancer, no. As a professional in other realms, yes.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Yeah.
You said you were a dancer.
Mm-hmm.
What type of dance, or maybe not even dance, what type of performance brings you the most joy?
For me, it's a combination of any sort of role, choreography, wherever that forces me to be something in someone else. But also is one of our Margarita and one of our mentors describes it as, we don't care if you like it or not, but it should make you feel something, right? Like modern dance is not about whether or not you like it. It's about, how did it make you feel, right? So that's why I dance.
Thank you.
And piggybacking on dancing questions, as a male dancer, which there is arguably less of an institution around, what was it that made you decide this is my career? Like, what was the moment that you decided to commit to being a dancer?
I don't know if I can actually identify a moment. I think for me, so I didn't start dancing until college. I was, athlete, martial artist, all that beforehand. And when I started dancing in college, it was a new challenge, and I just it felt right. And my entire career has been this sort of snowball effect. And I think it took about a year or two out of college to realize that this isn't something I'm really choosing to do at this point. It's something that I kind of have to do. Whether that be that I feel like I have something to share or that it's completing some part of me. I dance because I can't not dance, right? That's why the thing that I'm mourning the most is not dancing right now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are you going to make dance videos in your apartment?
I was actually just thinking, check this out. I bought this little doohickey on Amazon, right? So I can put it on the wall or something, and then just record me just doing a class, right? I just need to go through exercises, and I'm just gonna make a time lapse of me in my little 10 by 8 room or whatever, doing a gram class by myself, because that's where I am right now. That's gonna be tomorrow morning.
Thank you.
Get a long charger cable. Make sure it's plugged in.
Would you just do a little dancing for us right now, please?
Sure. Do I have a particular theme or anything, or?
Confinement.
See how well we can stage this right now. I think there's more space if we go this way a little bit. There we go. Dance about confinement in a confined space. Now we can curtsy.
Thank you.
It's fun to do without music and a 4x4 foot.
We are improvising. Anybody have a last question for Brad?
Brad, can you tell us about a time where you felt your masculinity was threatened?
That is a good question. I don't want this to sound like a cop-out, but I honestly don't know if I can. And I think that's because I don't very strongly identify as a male person, right? So I have a male body, I present as male, but I don't really think of myself as I'm a man, right? There are very rare instances where I feel like my identity as a man is threatened because it's just not core to my identity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'll let someone else hop in. I mean, I'll do this all night.
We got some claps from Craig out there.
Like I said,
and a 10 out of 10 from Lauren. We got some appreciations in the comments. Thank you for being in the hot seat. I love it. And I invite someone else to pop into the hot seat. Oh my God, Margarita, are you going to?
I'll go next.
You'll go next,
Oh no.
Huh? Great.
Yeah.
What do you don't know? John?
Do you have a question for John?
Nope. I hate asking questions.
Well, fine.
Marguerite wanted to go next.
I got plenty of questions. John. John. How long do you think you will live on a boat?
As long as I can, honestly. I am considering splitting my time and becoming a resident of two cities at the same time. And I would leave the boat in New York as my solution, as it were, in my home here. And I would buy property somewhere where I could be more terrestrial and, you know, keep things like the car that I'm restoring and, you know, my things that are still at my mother's house that, you know, are sitting in her attic, you know, want for a home. So if I could retire on a boat and have that be where I lived out my like latter years, possibly upgrading to a sailboat or a catamaran with lots of space, then I would definitely do it.
Thank you.
John, would you still live on a boat if there was no water?
Woo!
Oh, that would be. I would miss the rocking, but assume like there's a technicality that has to go with that. If I can still get utilities, then yes, because like boats have water makers and heating and cooling systems that require water to function. So I mean, part of it, essentially, would I live in an RV? Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, Brad in the comments said, if I had to give up internet access or physical touch for a year, which one and why?
Ooh.
Oh, that's
Ooh.
I'm an online gamer.
Ooh. Ooh.
If it was for a year, actually, I would give up physical touch because I've already played this game, where I spent almost a full year in celibacy, and I enjoyed how much I learned from that. And I did invest more time in my online relationship. So I would keep the internet and I would give up physical touch for a year.
Wow. Wow.
Because I know I could do it.
Paul says, what animal are you most afraid of and why?
I think it would have to be something. I don't know if it's spiders necessarily, but it's definitely something small and deadly. Something that can affect your health without being seen. So spider, yeah, I'm gonna go with like if there's like a black widow spider or a brown recluse spiders specifically.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If you had 3 wishes from a genie, what would they be?
Oh man. I think that if there was a way to eliminate suffering, that would be my go-to immediately. Just make that blanket statement and let the genie figure it out. And to guarantee mankind's survival into the future would be number 2. And to be able to see how far we go would be number 3.
Thank you.
So an Isaac Asimov approach.
Anybody else have a question? I must blow my nose or I'm going to explode. So I'm going to go off camera for a second. Excuse me.
Oh, I remember my question.
Toku makes a good point.
My question was, what is something in your life that you don't have direct control over that you would want, how do I phrase this? Yeah, what's something in your life that you don't have direct control over that if you could manipulate in some way would improve your life?
Understanding why people choose to leave.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have a last question for John in the hot seat? It can come from the comments.
Living on a boat, do you eat a lot of fish?
No, actually, there's a Asian market nearby where I get most of my food. So I think I actually eat a lot of dumplings and Indian for the most part. The marina's in Jersey City, so it's not.
Wow.
I'm not like in the ocean floating around. I also don't like fishing. I hate baiting hooks and killing fish.
Yeah.
So I would feel really bad if I did that as a thing. I know some people love it, and like my dad tried to get me to be a kid that ate fish and fished to eat fish, and I just never could do it. I always felt so bad. Even killing the worm, oh man, I can't do it.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, John.
Pot stickers. Yeah.
Who else wants to be in the hot seat?
I'm down.
Cameron, thank you. And Lauren can be next. Cameron, what are the kinds of connection that you seek out the most?
I guess I would then rank it in what I have the least, and that would be what I desire the most. I guess romantic would be at the top. Platonic, I guess, community next. Just like a general sense of community. Then platonic. Then familial. No, switch that. Familial. So romantic, community, familial, platonic. Those four in that order.
Thank you.
I have one. This one is going to get a little deep. Being a male, an adult male of color, what do you find are some of the simplest but most frustrating difficulties you face?
Okay. Better. Oh, that one's not that simple.
I'm stuck on the word simple too. I'm like, simplest? Is that really what you mean, Lauren? Simplest?
Yeah, I want some clarification, please and thank you.
Me too. Simplest?
Because I have answers, but like, I don't know.
So my reasoning.
What do you mean?
My reasoning for putting the word simplest in that question is because I've been made aware of a lot of the micro racisms in
That's what I was thinking. Keep going.
today's world, and I didn't want to I didn't know how to really phrase that question, so that's why I put simple in there, but feel free to remove that part of the sentence, that question.
Okay.
So when you say simplest, you mean microaggressions?
Yes. I apologize.
In that okay.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm really lucky in that I have, at least personally, felt very little very little like racism towards me specifically. I've definitely experienced it towards like Black people in general, but nothing like, oh, you specifically. Like that, I'm very lucky. So that I'm having difficulty thinking of situations actually. Yeah, there's not, I guess because it stands out, I can only think of rather explicit instances. And I guess the simplest, most recent is probably a better word, is I was, speaking of romantic connection, I was talking to somebody and found out that they have a race preference, which is really a prerequisite, but whatever. And that happens more often than I would like for it to. So I'll say that.
Thank you. I just want to add in that I grew up in a very non-diverse town, and I do my best whenever I can to understand and hold empathy for something that I don't have so much understanding for. So thank you.
Yeah, just general. Yeah, it's just a general human thing to like be aware of, I guess, others' experiences that may be different than yours. So yeah.
Cameron, we have some follow-up questions to my original question. And
Okay.
one is, what's the difference between community connections and platonic connections?
Platonic is individual, community is with more than just one person. So for instance, if I guess let's say every week I go out and do an activity and my community is those people that show up and also do that activity. We could also hang out outside of that activity and do things that aren't that activity. And that in that instance, it would be more, I guess, somewhere between community and platonic. But yeah, platonic is more individual, where like I'm hanging out with this friend tomorrow, and the next day I'm going to hang out with this friend. Yes, you can do that. You can have groups of friends, but depending on like the size of the group or really how you feel, in that case, it would be more of a community. So yeah, community is groups, platonic is individual.
Thank you. Adrian asks, do you have a relationship with doubt?
Heavily. Yeah, very much so. Yes. I guess I have a relatively black and white relationship in that I either have immense doubt or I have very little at all, and I can move quickly from one end of the spectrum to the other.
Thank
Cameron, what are you keeping out that you need to let in?
I'm going to say vulnerability. I'm going to say that.
Thank you.
Vulnerability.
Can I ask you another question?
Follow up. Go for it.
What's the tenderest part for you about being vulnerable?
I guess I associate. Oh, that's not entirely accurate. I guess when I am vulnerable, I am not. Yeah, I guess I would. Yeah, this is the closest I can think of it. When I am vulnerable, I am in danger, and that in general is not good. And it is difficult to find people that I would willfully be in danger around.
Thank you.
In what ways do you sabotage yourself or others?
More than likely, I do make lots of assumptions. So that's the first. But I more than likely make assumptions that I don't seek to determine if they are correct or not. Meaning, as I mentioned earlier, I'm quite risk averse, so therefore it is safer to assume an answer than it is to confirm whether that answer is correct or not.
Thank you.
Cameron, what's the topography of the closest relationships you have in your life?
I guess, what do you mean by, I think I know, but like, what do you mean by topography?
Like, what, if you were the center of a constellation, what are the other stars in your constellation? Who are they? And how close are they? And what configuration are they?
I guess the closest people to me are those that I have chosen to, well, those that we have mutually chosen to associate with each other for as long as we've known each other. And I guess I'm trying to think of a distance. I guess if I'm like the star at the center of this metaphorical universe, then we have reached a mutual distance. And I guess these people, admittedly, there's not a lot of them, they are equally spread, they are of equidistance to me and each other.
Thank you.
Yeah, mutual distance. Yeah, mutual distance between me specifically, and of equal distance between each other, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Thank you. And who are they? Are they
primarily friends?
Family members?
Yeah, friends and specific family members. Yeah, that's why those two are the lowest on my ranking.
Yeah. Somebody said earlier that they thought your taxonomical categorization was really interesting because they don't see it in the you seem really able to categorize quite clearly, and they didn't.
Yeah,
same
it's
kind of categorization.
I guess that's not original. So Gallup, a couple of years ago, when I was in college, Gallup wanted like my school, like the student body, to do weekly surveys, essentially stating, I forget the exact prompt, but there were 5 areas of wellness. Or I don't know if wellness is the right word. The point is the 5 categories were financial, romantic, community, social, and professional. So every week you would rank like how you feel about those 5 areas. And yeah, so I was like, okay, I'm just going to transfer that same concept to this.
I have another question. How happy are you?
I mean, specifically now, not very, because of like I'm social isolation. But even before that, definitely more. But even then, not. I'm going to say less than average. I'll say that. Yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions for Cameron while he's in the hot seat? Is there one final person? Thank you so much, Cameron, for being in the hot seat. Is there one final person who would like to play this particular game? Let's see. Kurt, Alexi.
I think Lauren actually said she was
Vincent,
next.
Toku. Oh, I see one. Hello. Do you want to play, Toku?
I can, but I think Lauren actually had said she was next, so I didn't want to take her place.
Oh, yes. Lauren, hello. You came down, so I forgot. Lauren, I cannot see your eyes, by the way.
Oh, sorry. I think it's the way that the orientation is between mobile to desktop that changes the view. Can you see me now?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
Well, still got like half of your eye, like you're losing your eyebrows and stuff. There we go.
Oh, they're so well
Yeah.
made.
There we go. Nice. Yes.
Yeah. Also, Lila, on mobile, past here, we don't see your hands.
Oh.
Yep, gone. In, gone, in, gone.
That's good to know. Lauren, how much time do you spend caring for your eyebrows?
I didn't catch that.
How much time do you spend caring for your eyebrows?
I do like a couple little plucks on a like every other day basis, and I draw them on every day, and that probably takes about 10 minutes.
Thank you.
Lauren, why red glasses?
I was gonna ask.
Great minds think alike.
Why red glasses? I was very newly sober and had absolutely no money. My glasses I was wearing at the time broke, and my friend / sponsor at the time worked for a glasses store and said, "Here, take these, don't worry about it." And that's how I got the red glasses. They became my thing, and I've been wearing red glasses for the last 4.5 years now, and they're here to stay.
Thank you.
Lauren, what is the thing you are most proud of in your life?
The thing that I'm most proud of is being able to stand up for myself and walking away from all ties with my family. I haven't had any relationship or contact with my immediate family for about 3 years now. And basically what it came down to was that if they weren't my blood relatives, they weren't people that I would value to have in my life. So I chose to not have them in my life. And I can honestly say that my life has gotten better since then. Although sometimes are harder than others. But I wish that others had the same ability to disconnect and walk away from toxic situations.
Thank you.
Yeah. My heart got going there.
Lila, I experienced your term versus. Oh, are we
I
frozen?
didn't catch that.
Lila had a term earlier called. It started with a V. The urge to know more.
Oh, Vertelis. Vertelis.
That one. Yeah.
Yeah. You can ask a follow-up question if you want.
Are you guys talking to me or?
Do you have a question?
I do. Let's see, Lauren, what was the last really interesting dream that you had, and what was it about?
Oh, wow. I have a lot of dreams, and I generally remember my dreams. Last dream, though. I know that I had either last night or the night before, but right now it's escaping me. I do actually have a lot of dreams about my family and how they like crop up in weird ways. Now I remember I was living in a very odd apartment that I'd never been in before, and after not talking to my family for so long, my mother shows up at my door with these two random people I'd never seen before and said, "Hey, we're coming over for dinner." And I was like, I wasn't expecting guests, but I guess I'll make everybody coffee. But I only have a French press that makes 2 cups at a time, so sorry. And that was my dream.
Neato. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lauren, what is the process you use when you apologize to people?
The process I use internally or the process I use when making the apology?
Both.
Both. If I don't think I'm wrong, generally I'll make the apology and then end up thereafter making the mental connections of, oh, I really was truly wrong in this situation. But like when I do actually do wholeheartedly, full-bodyedly know that I made a mistake, I actually tend to beat myself up a lot and make an apology that will probably end up being overly remorseful and tends to come off as fake to some people.
Thank you. Any other questions for Lauren?
I was able to chew on my follow-up. And I'm curious to know, Lauren, what is your relationship / definition between chosen family and blood family?
It's really hard for me to define that because I do have 2 girlfriends from high school that are my sisters and they are my family. And I can't really put a solid definition on it besides the fact that they know that they're my sisters and they know that they're my family because they've seen the evolution of the blood family. I mean, I think it's just that you have a family you're born into and then you have a family you choose. And your chosen family is the people you choose.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lauren, do you have any pets? And if you do, tell me about them.
I have 3 lizards. They're crested geckos, and I love them so much.
What are their names?
I'm almost embarrassed.
Curly, Larry, and Mo?
I got the first 2 together, and then I got the 3rd one thereafter. Their names are Tail, No Tail, and number 3.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
And this is my embarrassment blush.
Why number 3? Well, because it's the 3rd one, right?
And I got him thereafter, the first 2. Like 6 months after.
Probably better than number 4 because then you'd be wondering where number 3 went.
Exactly. So I'm going to give you credit for that one. Anytime that comes up in conversation, give me credit for that, Paul.
I think we've got a good final question here from Cameron in the comments. What is something that you want more people to know about? It doesn't have to be about you. It can be something interesting or something you deem important.
I'm not going to think too hard onto this one because I had this moment about an hour before this broadcast happened. Italy's been shut down for about 3 weeks, and as terrible and horrific as all that is, dolphins were spotted in the canals of Venice for the first time in 60 years, and the water is clear, and the fish are there. And I couldn't help but have the thought of, what if Mother Nature is fighting back? And look at how much difference 3 weeks made there. What could it do for the rest of the world? And I think that's a really thought-provoking and right-sizing question. Yeah.
Thank you.
That's what I want more people to know. Dolphins are back in Italy.
Alexi says, my cats were renamed by my best friend to Brexit 1 and Brexit 2 because they go to the door, scratch, and meow. I get up and open the door and they just look out the door, but never leave.
I have a little bit of an understanding of that, but I really wish that I had more of an understanding of Brexit to fully understand that.
The joke.
But that's still
just threatening to want to leave and then never actually leaving.
Except
it's really all it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So I love that game. Thank you for playing. Thank you for being in the hot seat and being curious and indulging your curiosity. I think sharing our curiosity is one of the ways that we bridge the distance between us. Feels so good. So I thought we would close our circle. So we're sitting in a circle again, and we would close our circle by sharing our life today in a headline. So, American in Bali has desperately to pee and blow her nose, yet still manages to host online video show.
Send it to the press.
And with that, I'm out. I'll say that.
Oh, let's see. Paul, with acute public speaking anxiety, actually managed to do this today, and I'm happy about that, and I'm out.
Thanks, Paul.
Man with more problems than solutions spends entire day on remote tech support calls.
That's such
And with
one,
that,
John.
while I'm still on my job site, I'm out.
I'm still thinking. I don't know. I just took the spot because it was open.
Go. Former Zen monk eats cereal, plays video games in the name of public health. And with that, I'm out.
Super good.
Unemployed dancer officially turns into cat lady. I'm out.
I'm going to go with dancer / tech employee spends day eating cookie dough and playing 20-year-old video game in the light of COVID. And I am out.
Mine is area man who complains of not having enough social connection, now forced into social isolation.
Thank you.
Now, and with that, I'm out.
vulnerability adverse girl sweats while being in the hot seat. And with that, I'm out.
Oh, hey. Um, an introvert who was feeling pretty lonely for the past few days finally gets social interaction and is just a little bit happier today. And with that, I'm out.
Anybody else? Vincent.
Man that reads headline that other man was seeking social connection and found social isolation feels validated.
I didn't hear the first part of that, Vincent.
Oh, sorry. So man that read other man's headline that he was seeking social connection and was met with social isolation feels validated.
Thank you. So the last thing that I thought we might do, I'm hoping that there are 3 people who like to sing in this group, because I learned this wonderful little chant that I was singing in the shower and singing while I was riding my motorbike, and it's really lovely, but it definitely sounds better with multiple people. Or if you don't like to sing but you're willing to, does anybody will anybody join me in this little song?
To sing, but singing over asynchronous chat things can be really tricky. I'm down to try though.
Okay, I hope it'll work out. Here we go. So it goes, thank you for this opportunity to breathe in. Thank you for this opportunity to breathe out. In. Out, 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 out. And then there's a part that goes, I am light. Oh, I am light. So I'll do thank you for this opportunity to breathe in, and I'll do it a few times, and maybe you join in. And you can join in, obviously, even if we can't hear you, and then you can just sing it for yourself and have a good time. Thank you for this opportunity to breathe in. Thank you for this opportunity to breathe out. Thank you for this opportunity to breathe in. Thank you for this opportunity to breathe out. In. Out, 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 out. In. Out, 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 out. Thank you for this opportunity to breathe in. Thank you for this opportunity to breathe out. Thank you for this opportunity to breathe in.
Thank you for this opportunity to breathe out.
In.
Out, 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 out.
Out. In. Out,
out, out, out, out, out.
I think that's the best we can do, and it is good enough. Yeah, it was a little round, like he said. It's asynchronistic, like row your boat. It's great. It's wabi sabi, right? Perfectly imperfect. Wabi sabi. Thank you for coming. I want us to be excellent to each other, and this is one way that we can do it. And I'm considering hosting I do this weekly show, so I hope you'll join in on Wednesday nights, 10 p.m. It'll be different each time. Here are some of the things I'm also considering, either in addition to that or as part of that. I think I'm going to host an online pajama party, where we just hang out in our PJs and chat and tell stories and sing songs and just like chill together in our pajamas at home. I thought about hosting a sing-along. Now I am reconsidering whether that's going to work out. But maybe if I just did it all call and response, that might work. I thought about hosting a men's group as a woman. If you're a man who would be interested in a female facilitated men's group, let me know. Will we do our nails and talk about boys, girls, others we like? Yes, obviously. Sleepovers are for. I might do a women's group. I might do a guided meditation visualization. I did one from Playing Big that was about finding meeting the inner mentor that I found incredibly powerful. And I thought about leading that because I think it might be useful at this moment in time. And, I make a podcast about oral intimacy. So if you're in need of some intimacy and you're lying down, it's the best practices for listening to this podcast. Brad's been thinking about starting a men's group. Oh yes, please start an online men's group. It's definitely needed. And Lauren suggests a connection curator masterclass. I'm actually thinking about that. Yeah, I was brainstorming about it during a cacao ceremony. Thank you for subscribing, Alexi. Oh yeah. Did I mention that? If you haven't subscribed, you should subscribe so that you know about the other events. And I'm going to sign off of the broadcast, but I'm still going to hang out. So if you want to chat and if there were things you wanted to say, or if you didn't want to be on video that went out into the world, but you just want to hang out and, so that you won't be broadcast, then you can cam up in a moment. Thank you so much for joining. I feel so much love for all the people who came today and shared and the ones who witnessed. Thank you for being here. Thank you for connecting in a circle across the world. It's a beautiful thing.